how to take the clutch case off of a 2001 to 2014 case off. And in order to do this, you're going to need a rubber mallet if it has gasket maker, a 8mm, and a 10mm flathead screwdriver, and either a ratchet or a drill. In my case, I'm going to be using a drill. And first, we're going to have to drain the water, because we're going to be taking this portion off of it, and the oil. The oil is going to be taken out of this drain bolt, which is a 10mm. And for this one, I'm going to just be taking this little bolt out to drain the water. Let me get to that. Oh yeah, we're in the clear. I thought this oil would be mixed with water, since last time the problem was that the oil and water was mixing. Well, this case, it isn't that. That's good. Now this time, the reason I'm taking it back off is because it's dripping a little bit of oil. Ooh, I don't think I'm gonna get that half liter of oil out that I put in it. Now these bolts, I prefer leaving them on this magnetic tray, or you could put them either on a bowl or anything. Put it up here where it doesn't where it doesn't bother me or interfere with what I'm doing down here. Oh, waiting for that to drain. I'm gonna actually use the same empty bottle of oil to drain out the oil and drain out the water. Since I'm not going to be reusing this oil, and just get enough slack on there. Pull that. 1, 2, 3. There we go. So I'm spilling some out of this side. That's why I have the rag there. And leave that sitting there for a while. There we go. It's still dripping some because it's leaking out like here. See? But it's fine. Leave that. Okay. Then when it gets to this point, I'm do this. I know it's a little overkill with the drill, but it's fine. Put that loose. Take this bolt out. I like using the drill. Makes everything faster. Okay. Now it's gonna start dripping from both parts, the hose and hose, and it releases air, so it lets everything loose. Okay, that should be enough. Let's get to unbolting everything. I had actually already taken off the brake. Okay guys, I'm sorry my video did cut out, but later on in the video, after putting gasket maker on the case, I'm gonna be showing how to put it back on. Same procedure by taking them off. It's the 8mm and the 10mm. So I set down the case down here and the gasket maker. First, I'm gonna be grabbing some paper towels and cleaning this up. Just a light cleanup like there. There's some gasket left. We don't want that to interfere with what we're doing. And to get all the oil off. I know a lot of people just do it with the gasket maker, but I don't trust that so much. I'll just go ahead and do this. Put that on there. Put that on there. Put that on there. Put that on there. So first I'm gonna just lay it on there, and then after we're going to make sure it's really evenly spread it out, and make sure there's no flaws, because we don't all want to be opening it up again. You could do it with the original, but I just wouldn't recommend it, because it is a pretty thick spread when you lay it on there with the original tube or outlet of that. Now it's mainly this bottom part that drips. Since you should see the other video where I explained that it was dripping, and I explained why I originally opened the case. Check that out. This is just put a layer on the portion where there is going to be water passing through. We do not want water mixing with our oil. That is always a no-no. And spread that out evenly. I'll catch you guys up in a minute when it's super nice. So I let that sitting for about 15 minutes. Now we're gonna put the case back on and then let it sit for another 15 minutes while it dries perfectly. Since this is gasket maker and not a gasket, we're gonna have to let it dry. It's not completely dry, but we don't want it to be completely dry. It's a little dry, not to the point where it's like sticking back on you. It's dry enough. And then when we put it on there, we're gonna be waiting another 15 minutes afterwards, so it really dries up, and we're sure that it's not the gasket's fault that it's causing leaks. I'll meet you guys back on the chair. Okay, so even now afterwards, we're gonna have to be very careful, extra careful, to not rip any of the gaskets, which is like this one of the water pump, or the gaskets on the actual block of the motor. Now carefully make sure, if you were doing work down here, make sure nothing is loose, because once we put this on, we're not going to be taking it back off until there's another problem. Let's go. Spin steady. And be very careful with this. Spin steady. Make sure the gear for the kickstand, the line's pretty nice. Everything has to be perfect, or else this won't work. Okay, after everything's good, apply pressure for just a sec. Make sure everything aligns, which everything on mine is perfect. And then spread that gasket maker, whatever, expanded off. Then we just put the bolts back on. I'll show you the order because I saw that my other clip of taking the actual case off cut it out for some reason. I'll show you guys. The way I'm putting the screws back in is the same way you're gonna take them out, okay? Just clean that up because that was bad on, that was my fault. That was on my end. So first, I like to put the biggest bolt which is the actual drain bolt. So slide that in there. Make sure you don't feel the gasket hitting, because if you feel the actual gasket hitting, you're going to want to take that out. And make sure the gasket is straight. In my case, it went in perfectly straight because I had aligned it right before beginning the clip. And then for the side ones, this one, actually this one, they all seem like they're the same, but there's some that have extra threads and stuff. So again, hand tight. I'm gonna just be using the 8mm on there. Hand tight. Oh, that keeps on going in. So Narnia never ends. Next one on there. This one's, oh, okay, put that in there. Hand tight again. We start screwing stuff in a crossed pattern. Once we do start screwing stuff in, screw it in about, with the snap-on drills, I do it usually like 3 clicks. But for the DeWalt, since they're a little more sensitive, because they're usually for like wood and stuff like that, I would do like 5 or even 10 for like the big bolts. But these do strip pretty easily, so again, always be careful when you're using a drill. It is a pain to make another thread, and just why have to do that if we could just listen, you know? Now another one of these. Usually the outer ones use the regular one, which has the thread all the way through, and not like this one, which has thread and then just flat right here. Then we're gonna use the ones that have a thread and then just flat spot are usually for the water pump case. So then I'm gonna screw that in hand tight. I'll pick you guys up when I put all the 8s in hand tight. Then for the water pump housing, right on top of it is going to be one of these threads, and then flat. So mine is an L. It's usually an 8, but in my case, the guy, like I said, the guy before stripped it and had to put a bigger size on there. Again, usually, oh wait, never mind. Again, usually mine is hand tight, and then like right there, it's good. Just to line everything, and then when we tighten, cross patterns. Looks like everything is good. Now another one in here, another one in here, like I said. And now, once we put those in, hand tight again. And even if it feels like, if it feels too tight and you have to like force it, push it in there, it's because the gasket is probably placed in wrong. And it's happened to me where I've ripped the gasket and had to order another one. It's another 3 to 4 days that you miss out on riding your bike, which no one wants to do. Another weekend? Nope. No sir. Now for the water pump. This, like I said before, has to be placed in a very good location. So make sure this never gets harmed. Now, make sure that water pump gasket is aligned well. Put it in. Make sure everything's aligned well. Then, long one that I showed before. Long one with a flat, with no thread at the end. Just align that. For now, make sure we have nothing located wrong. Now this is going to be the long one, the drain bolt, into the rear, the bottom portion of it. Place that in, hand tight, just align it for now. Then I'm gonna put this L I have here. The guy before stripped it, like I said. He stripped it. He stripped the bolt and it's to replace it. So this one, I'm actually gonna tighten it fully because this isn't actually connected to the actual block. It's just connected to its own, and I did not place gasket maker on that area. So it's gonna be the first cross screw. I'm going to do 8 clicks on with the DeWalt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and now the 10. I have to switch out to the 10, which is the drain bolt down below. This one I usually do 10 or 12 because it's a drain bolt. They're bigger in threads, harder to break the threads on them, and just need a little bit more impact on it. Okay, about 12, 13. Got lost a little bit at the end there. Now just cross pattern all around. I'll pick you guys up when I'm finished with that and show you the rest of the steps. Okay guys, so my video cut out once again, but the rest of the steps just consist of connecting the water hose and refilling it with water / coolant or oil. And oil. And putting back the Kickstarter, which is just putting that 10 back in there, and the brake, which is sliding in the pin and locking it in place. Bye! People and I wonder all day, who are you and you are not the one in your way. And then I think about myself and I stay. I'm a pretty boss, walk on ocean brain waves. I'm a freak in the sheets.